Hey there. I wonder if you've ever noticed how much of your life is spent inside your own head. Not just thinking occasionally, not just reflecting from time to time, but living there, analyzing, imagining, replaying, preparing, questioning, trying to understand everything before it happens, while it's happening, and long after it's already over. And if you're someone who does that, there's a good chance you've been this way for a long time. Maybe it's simply how you're wired. Maybe thinking became a way to feel prepared. Maybe it became a way to feel safe. Maybe it became a place where you could make sense of things that felt confusing in the outside world. Whatever the reason, you've likely grown very familiar with your own mind. You know its patterns, its questions, its habits, its tendency to revisit conversations after they've ended, its tendency to imagine different outcomes, its search for meaning in things other people might barely notice. And to be fair, there are gifts in that. People who spend a lot of time thinking often become deeply self-aware. They notice details. They reflect carefully. They ask important questions. They try to understand themselves and the people around them. But there can also be a quiet cost, because eventually you can become so focused on understanding life that you forget to experience it. You become so busy analyzing a conversation that you stop being present in it. So busy preparing for future possibilities that you miss what's happening right now. So busy trying to make sense of every feeling that you rarely allow yourself to simply feel it. And that can be exhausting. Not because thinking is bad, but because your mind was never meant to carry every moment alone. Sometimes life is meant to be lived before it's fully understood. And that's a difficult truth for people who find comfort in certainty. Because thinking often creates the feeling of control. If you can understand something, maybe you can manage it. If you can anticipate it, maybe it won't hurt as much. If you can analyze every angle, maybe you'll avoid making mistakes. But life has a way of remaining unpredictable no matter how thoroughly we examine it. Some questions don't have immediate answers. Some decisions require trust. Some experiences only make sense after you've lived through them. And at some point, the search for certainty can become its own source of stress, because there is always one more possibility to consider, one more conversation to replay, one more outcome to imagine, one more answer to chase. And the mind never really runs out of things to think about, which is why learning to step outside of it occasionally can be such an important act of care. Not abandoning thought, not becoming someone you're not, but remembering that you are more than your thoughts. You are also the person living the life those thoughts are about. The person drinking the coffee, walking down the street, listening to music, laughing with friends, watching the evening sky, living moments that don't always need to be analyzed in order to matter. And maybe that's something worth remembering tonight. You do not have to understand every part of your life before you're allowed to live it. You do not have to solve every uncertainty before you can enjoy what's in front of you. And you do not have to spend every moment inside your mind just because it's familiar there. Your thoughts can be valuable companions, but they don't have to be your entire world. Because beyond all the questions, all the analysis, and all the searching, there is still a life waiting to be experienced. Not perfectly understood, not completely figured out, just experienced. And sometimes that's enough.